Lee Van Cleef, born Clarence Leroy Van Cleef Jr. on January 9, 1925, in Somerville, New Jersey, grew up in a modest working-class family with Dutch heritage. His childhood was marked by the everyday challenges of small-town life, which instilled in him a quiet resilience and work ethic. Few could have predicted the path he would take into the cinematic world. Despite his humble beginnings, Van Cleef demonstrated early determination and focus. These qualities would later translate into his commanding screen presence. The foundation of his character, forged in a disciplined household, would become a hallmark of his later work in Hollywood and European cinema. Military service and discipline. After high school, Van Cleef enlisted in the United States Navy during World War II, serving aboard a minesweeper in the Pacific Theater. His time in the military exposed him to danger, responsibility, and discipline. The intensity of wartime service shaped both his character and his worldview, leaving him with a stoic demeanor and an appreciation for order. Many who knew him later noted that the quiet authority he displayed on screen reflected his military background. The Navy instilled a sense of calm under pressure, a trait that would later become synonymous with his anti-hero persona in westerns and crime dramas across Hollywood and Europe. Early career and screen debut. Upon returning from the war, Van Cleef worked in various civilian jobs, including accounting and painting. However, a local theater production revealed his innate talent, catching the attention of Hollywood scouts. His film debut came in 1952 with High Noon, where he played a silent, menacing gunslinger. Though his role had no dialogue, his presence left a lasting impression. His sharp cheekbones, piercing gaze, and hawk-like nose set him apart from conventional leading men. The intensity he brought to small parts became his signature, paving the way for a career in villainous roles that demanded subtlety, precision, and the ability to dominate a scene without words. Rise as a supporting villain. Throughout the 1950s and early 1960s, Van Cleef frequently appeared as a supporting antagonist in westerns and crime dramas. Films such as Kansas City Confidential, 1952, The Big Combo, 1955, and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, 1962, showcased his ability to captivate audiences even in brief appearances. Often cast as henchmen or outlaws, he brought depth to characters that might otherwise have been one-dimensional. Van Cleef's skill lay in his subtlety. His silent intensity created tension on screen, making him memorable in every scene. By the mid-1960s, he had carved a niche as a reliable and compelling villain in Hollywood's golden era of westerns. Breakthrough in spaghetti westerns, Van Cleef's career transformed when Italian director Sergio Leone cast him in For a Few Dollars More, 1965, alongside Clint Eastwood. Playing Colonel Douglas Mortimer, a dignified and calculating bounty hunter, Van Cleef revealed previously untapped layers of charisma and complexity. Audiences and critics were captivated by his quiet power and moral ambiguity. The film's success catapulted him into international recognition. He continued his collaboration with Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966, where his portrayal of Angel Eyes became iconic. This marked a shift from supporting villain to commanding presence, establishing Van Cleef as a key figure in the modern anti-hero archetype of Western cinema. European Western stardom. Following his success with Leone, Van Cleef embraced the spaghetti Western genre, starring in numerous European productions through the late 1960s and 1970s. Titles like Sabata, 1969, Death Rides a Horse, 1967, The Big Gun Down, 1966, and Day of Anger, 1967, cemented his reputation as a stoic, morally complex anti-hero. Unlike traditional brash Western leads, Van Cleef's characters relied on intelligence, patience, and a personal code of justice. This approach resonated with audiences worldwide. His intense yet understated performances distinguished him from his peers, allowing him to thrive in a genre often dominated by flamboyant personalities and formulaic heroism. On-screen persona and philosophy. Van Cleef became known for his quiet authority, speaking softly while conveying immense power through presence alone. His characters often walked morally gray paths, reflecting his belief in depth and authenticity over spectacle. Unlike other stars of the era who relied on charm or bravado, Van Cleef's intensity came from experience and discipline. Critics admired his ability to command a scene without shouting or exaggerated gestures. Off-screen, he maintained the same professionalism, valuing dedication over ego. His approach to acting exemplified his philosophy. True artistry emerges from preparation, commitment, and a willingness to inhabit a character fully rather than chasing fame or recognition. Expanding range in television. In the 1980s, Van Cleef explored television and action-adventure projects, demonstrating his adaptability. He starred as Police Commissioner Hull in Escape from New York, 1981, and led the NBC series The Master, 1984, as a retired ninja master. While reception varied, these roles showcased his ability to evolve with contemporary trends. Van Cleef applied the same intensity to television as he had to film, bringing credibility to even fantastical characters. These projects revealed his enduring dedication to craft. He remained a professional presence on set, committed to storytelling and character authenticity, proving that his career was not defined solely by westerns, but by a broader artistic versatility. Personal life and first marriage. Van Cleef's personal life was intertwined with his career. He married Patty Ruth Cale in 1943, during his early acting years. Together, they raised 3 children amid the challenges of Hollywood life. Balancing family obligations with a growing career proved difficult, and their marriage faced strain over time. After 15 years, they divorced in 1958. Despite the separation, their shared history shaped Van Cleef's sense of responsibility and resilience. Family life grounded him and informed the emotional depth he brought to roles, particularly those of stoic, thoughtful men facing moral dilemmas. These personal experiences added a layer of authenticity to his performances. Telly Savalas and personality clashes. Van Cleef's dislike of Telly Savalas arose from starkly contrasting working styles. Savalas, known for flamboyance and ego, clashed with Van Cleef's disciplined, understated approach. On overlapping European sets in the 1970s, Van Cleef reportedly walked off after Savalas mocked his acting style. Their personalities were fundamentally different. Savalas thrived on attention, while Van Cleef embodied quiet menace. Creative incompatibility led Van Cleef to avoid future collaborations. This professional friction reflected his dedication to craft over showmanship. He valued subtlety, control, and respect on set, and found Savalas' theatricality disruptive to the collaborative environment he prized. Yul Brynner and professional contempt Van Cleef also harbored disdain for Yul Brynner, viewing him as overly concerned with image and theatricality. Both men shared Western roots, yet Van Cleef considered Brynner aloof and elitist. Behind-the-scenes tensions arose at film festivals and award shows, including an incident where Brynner allegedly rejected a co-starring role with Van Cleef. This perceived slight fueled long-standing resentment. Van Cleef admired authenticity and dedication, contrasting with Brynner's polished, controlled persona. His omission of Brynner from a list of respected actors in a 1985 interview spoke volumes. Van Cleef's grudges were less about personal pettiness and more about a principled stance on professionalism and integrity in the craft of acting. James Coburn and frustration with cool. James Coburn's effortless charm and casual approach also irked Van Cleef. While Coburn's style was celebrated, Van Cleef saw it as coasting on charisma rather than craft. A European Western casting dispute exacerbated tensions as Van Cleef lost a role to Coburn. A subsequent offhand joke by Coburn intensified the resentment. Van Cleef's pride and dedication to acting made him sensitive to perceived shortcuts or arrogance. Though never publicly hostile, he reportedly cautioned younger actors against emulating Coburn's style. This reflected his belief in hard work, discipline, and substance over image, a philosophy central to his enduring legacy in cinema. Legacy and final years. Despite personal grudges and health challenges, including heart disease and a pacemaker in the 1980s, Van Cleef continued to work until his death on December 16, 1989. He collapsed at home in Oxnard, California, from a heart attack, with throat cancer listed as a contributing factor. His life reflected resilience, discipline, and unwavering dedication to acting. Van Cleef's screen legacy, defined by intensity, subtlety, and moral complexity, remains influential. His personal and professional principles, though sometimes leading to rivalries, underscored a commitment to the craft. He's remembered as a consummate professional who elevated every role he undertook, leaving an indelible mark on both Hollywood and European cinema.